Alrighty. Well, welcome to this next episode of Your Music, Your Story. Today we've got Melissa Steele. Welcome.
Hello. Hi.
Welcome to the shenanigans.
Yay. Finally. It only took us 3 months?
Something like that. Yeah, it took a little while. But it's all right. We're here.
Kids are ruining my social life.
How dare they? How dare those little turkeys?
Selfish.
The joys of being a parent, huh?
You know? Anyway, hi.
Alrighty. So we'll just get started. So I know the last band you were in was the Stupid Daikinis.
Yes.
But I also know, so you also did like open mic stuff.
I did. So before the Stupid Daikini, it was just Stupid Daikini. I added the for dramatic effect. Right. But no, in math is hard. So 5 minus 17 is
12.
12. Thank you. I don't do the numbers. My husband, Alex, he got me a ukulele for my birthday when I was 23. And I went to LA for a week and just sat and played with it. And I wrote 3 songs in that week. And I was just like, this is too cool. Because I'd done music before. My whole family is a bunch of music nerds. And I'd never been able to write anything because I didn't know how to play anything.
I got this now.
Yeah. And then I picked up a ukulele. And my reasoning for wanting one is I have short, little, chubby fingers. And I tried to play bass. And I got some stuff down. But I was like, my hands are too small for this. And then I got a guitar. And I was like, these are too many strings. I can't do this. My brain won't compute. And then I got a ukulele and I was like, oh my God, it's perfect.
My fingers fit amazingly.
My fingers fit on this. and yeah, like I sat in LA for a week at a friend's house, mostly on her fire escape, which was incredible. And I wrote, the very first song I ever wrote was Landlord.
Okay. That was off that, because you only did one album, right? That's on Bandcamp?
There's two. So the very first one is... it just ended up being called Stupid Daikini EP or whatever. But I think it had a name and I can't remember what it was. But yeah, that one's just like a little 4 or 5 song album. I don't know what you'd call something that tiny.
EP works.
But yeah, that one has Landlord, Bastard, Atomic Family, and Baby. I think Baby's on that one. No. It doesn't matter. But that little one is on Bandcamp. I don't think it's on Spotify though. But yeah, I wrote Landlord, Bastard, and some other song that became something else later. And then I wrote a couple of other songs that just never made it on any kind of album. But I was like, I'm okay. I like this. I might be good at this. I'm not gonna not
gonna toot your own horn.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't want to risk it.
It's okay. Do it.
Right.
Do it.
And so I was like, okay, all right. I think I'm ready to try some open mic stuff. So yeah, I did open mic stuff for a little bit, and I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. I wonder if I could do a band. And so I threw a lot of feelers out. I had a friend from a band called Neuronic Distress.
Okay.
Miles, and he was super into it, and so him and I tried to make it work for a little bit, but he lives in LA and I live in Moreno Valley, so it was a bit of a commute.
Yeah, that don't work.
Yeah, we tried some postal service type stuff where I would record stuff and then send it to him, and he would record that and send it back to me, but life is a lot, and so that didn't work out. But then Alex was in a band. I don't know if you've heard of them, the Dudikoffs.
Oh, word. Yeah.
I know. I miss them. Anyway.
Seriously.
He was in a band called the Dudikoffs, and one of his band members' girlfriend at the time was a drummer in high school. And her and I hit it off almost immediately. And she had mentioned that she was kind of a drummer. And I was like, okay, well, that's cool. Because I kind of a drummer. Right. And I was like, well, I'm kind of a musician too. Maybe we should kind of try something. And we kind of did for a while in my apartment. She brought her full drum set to my 2-bedroom tiny little apartment on the 2nd story. And we practiced there for a couple months until somebody finally filed a complaint. We practiced in the middle of a work day, so it's not like it was hurting anybody, but you know.
Somebody did anyway.
I'm not bitter. And yeah, we both just sat there and we got super excited and we were like, holy shit, this could work. And we played our very first show and it was probably a hot mess, but I don't remember. All I remember was how much fun it was.
That's all that matters. Who cares if it was a mess?
Right. And my biggest thing with Brittany was that I would play something and she would literally crawl into my brain and go, okay, this is the drums that she wants for this. And she would just do it and it worked.
Nice.
And the most of our songs that happened were extremely organic. She would start playing something. She'd go, hey, I've been fucking with this. What do you think? And she'd start drumming and I'd go, oh my God, hold still. Or wait, don't hold still. Like play.
Keep going.
Right. And so she would play that and then I would start playing and then immediately she would start adding to it and then I would start playing. And it was like this like intense collaboration. It was never like a, hey, I wrote this. I want you to do this with it. It was a, hey, what do you think of this? And then she'd kind of start messing with the drums and then I'd kind of start messing a little bit. And so it was just everything that we did together just kind of worked and it just happened. And I'd never had that with a musician before. I'd never worked with someone where it was like, hey, this is really cool. What do you think of this? And it just would happen. And we wrote Everything Is Fine. Honestly, God, I want to say that Everything Is Fine came together in 2 months. Because it was
good.
Just one song after another. Everything was just do. And this is so cheesy, but I don't think to this day that she really understands the amount of inspiration that I pulled from her. And just like, because just somebody wrote a review about us and said something about how she played drums in like a tantrum style. Where it was just like, I don't even know how that works, but it just does. And, that she just went for it. She went hard and she was like, hey, does this work? And I'd go, yeah, it turns out it does.
Good enough.
Not even good enough. Like, yes, that's it. That's what I heard in my head. And we started playing shows together and we kind of played with the idea of adding another person, but we just liked the way this was working. And so we went on a little mini tour, and we just barely squeaked Everything Is Fine out. Like we wanted it done before we went on tour, and we literally finished it like it was all done. We were listening to the final drafts on tour.
Nice.
Like we were like, okay, what do you think of this? Okay. We were on the road listening to it and it turned out great. In my opinion, in my humble opinion. I'm really proud of that album. And she was great and we were great. And then, we came up with the art. I didn't come up with the art. My friend came up with the art and she's a brilliant human being and I adore her. And put it all together and we had I'm not sure how the names on here work, but Casey, I don't know if I'm allowed to do names.
You say whatever you want,
but
don't matter to me.
Casey from, oh my God, I can't remember the name of the band.
He's gonna be offended.
All of them, because what happened was Casey was recording bass for us. Just on the recording. Like he had played a couple of shows with us just to kind of see how it would go. But he played before all that. He was like, can I just like throw some bass on here and see what you guys think? And we were like, yes.
Wasn't that like Casey Bulger, Bluebird, Blum?
No.
I want to say it started with a B.
My brain is so shot, man. The last couple of years, I didn't even go on like a crazy party animal drug binge. I just, being a parent is kicking my ass. But
come on, Google.
But yeah, they Goldberg.
There you go. Casey Goldberg.
Yep. Sorry, Casey. Still love you very much. One of my favorite clips from recording, in Anger Management, there's a tambourine. And it is literally, he goes, hey, what would you think about some tambourine? because he's a mad scientist. You know, you go to record at Mouse House and he's like, hey, could I try this? Hey, what do you think of this? Hey, what do you think of this? And you're like, yeah, do it all. And he's wildly talented, of course. So he was like, I want to try this. I'm going to try bass and I want to try this. And we're like, okay, great. And my favorite thing ever is watching him frantically play tambourine over and over and over during anger management, because the tambourine in that song is so just unhinged. It's like and it was just so much fun to watch him like try and get it, and if he didn't get it, he'd go, shit, damn it, do it again. Just, damn it, and he'd do it again. And it turned out really cool. But yeah, he did a great job recording all of that, and and it was so much fun. It was so much fun.
When you went in there, you were going to record just your ukulele, vocals, and the drums.
That was the plan, yeah.
And then he was like, hey, can I do this? So that wasn't before. You weren't like, hey, let's maybe if that's an option to throw bass or anything.
Right. No, we didn't really anticipate it. But then he was like, hey, what do you think of this? We were like, actually, yeah, that might be kind of cool. Because we kind of talked about having a third person. And as much fun as we had, like, playing the two of us, the idea of that extra dynamic was really exciting. And so we heard it, and he's like, I'll send you some without the bass. I'll send you some with the bass. And we heard the bass. And we were like, nope, that's it. Keep it on there. And so, yeah, like Gabe came on later, but a lot of people that don't know like the personal aspect of don't know that that's not Gabe on the album. That's
they
actually
just assumed
Casey.
that it is.
Right. Gabe didn't. I don't think Gabe came on for quite a few months after that, because we played Awesome Fest, which was insane. We played our very first Awesome Fest. I think Gabe played with us for that. And then, not Gabe, Casey, sorry. And then Casey was kind of like, hey, this is a lot. And I'm not sure. Again, my brain is shot when it comes to like the early on stuff. But we were like, well, what about Gabe? And I remember there was this ongoing joke that Gabe was like, well, I'm a better bass player. That's why I'm playing with you guys. It was just
Go
like,
sit down, Casey. I got this.
Right. It was was like, yeah. But Gabe was wild. Gabe, not wild in the sense of like, but it was crazy to me because Gabe did the same thing Brittany did. Like the first time that we played with Gabe, it's like we'd been playing together for years.
Nice.
And I actually think again, I'm going to get real cheesy. I'm a very sentimental person.
It's okay.
If you've heard any of my music, Gabe added an element that we didn't know we were looking for literally the whole time we were playing together. And not just musically, but personality wise. Like he made it work. Like he was the missing, how do I say it? He rounded us out.
He was the missing link.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, exactly. Not kind of. And I remember, I actually think that I cried after our first show all together because I had picked out the name, the Stupid Daikini, years before I even picked up an instrument. Because
Well, that would just be a fun band name?
Willow is one of my favorite movies of all time. Of all time. Willow, you idiot. But yeah, and so I was like, how cool would it be to have a band called the Stupid Daikini? And I remember talking about it to a couple of my musician friends, and I'm gonna be in a band, and then this happened. So there you go.
We got this.
The history of the band is right then and there. But Gabe played with us, and I just remember crying afterwards because I was like, this is it. This is what I've wanted, because like I said, I grew up with musicians. My grandfather played every instrument under the sun. My dad could pick up an instrument and be good at it. My brother could pick up an instrument and be good at it. I have yodelers in my family. I have singers. I'm not even like, I've been singing as long as I can remember. But my hands couldn't play anything.
The coordination wasn't
tiny
there.
little fingers.
Just so cute and tiny.
They're so tiny. I have the hands of a toddler. But I cried and I was like, I've wanted this my entire life and it's happening. This is
Nice.
cool. Yeah, it was incredible. And we played a whole bunch of stuff together, and we played, I can't remember how many. I think like 4 Awesome Fests before Awesome Fest RIP.
Peace out, son. One for the homies.
Right. And then we played VLHS a bunch. And it's so funny because early on, Brittany and I would sit and we go, how cool would it be to play Awesome Fest? How cool would it be to play VLHS?
And then there
man?
you are.
And then we were doing it, And it was like, for me, I remember the first Awesome Fest we played at Cried Again during our set.
And it was exciting.
It was exciting, but then there were people singing along.
Oh, I heard. Knew your songs?
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
And I was like, what is happening? I wrote these songs. Like, these came from my puny little peanut gallery brain. Like, people are responding. That's even more wild than people just coming to see us play. Because in my brain, it's like, they're all there for Awesome Fest. It's, whatever. They're going to just hang out at a bar.
The 10 o'clock.
Right.
band.
And a lot of them were just friends that we had through the Dudikoffs or the Retcons or just music people that were in that circle, And so I was like, yeah, they're going to come out and support because, I'm the wife of the guy from the Dudikoffs.
They have to. Obligation, son.
Right, exactly. And there were people singing along. And I just had to compose myself. And I think that I may have gotten choked up at every single show Daikini ever played.
Nice. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, it was so cool. And there was this, grateful is not the right word because it's not big enough. But the amount of I just I don't know. It was, you guys are, the crowd of people that really rallied around Daikini had no idea that there was this 6-year-old little girl sitting inside of me staring at all my musician family members.
Woo-hoo!
Exactly. Just oh my God, it's happening. You guys. And there were times after my first daughter was born where I was like, I'm too tired. I just don't want to. And then I'd be like, no, I have to. Cause and you try not to, I always really didn't, I never in my brain, I'd be like, God, that song turned out really cool. I like that, But for a long time it was but it was all Brittany. or that's good because it's Gabe, you know?
So you're kind of removing yourself from the
right.
whole scenario.
Right. Because I also didn't want it to turn into, well, she's just some musician singer who's really arrogant about her music and blah, 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 you know?
Yeah.
Because I grew up around people who were like, be good at it, but it's not about you.
Don't suck.
Right.
But don't be bad.
Right.
Be
but
amazing.
also don't be arrogant. Don't be this. Don't be that, you know? And it took me a really long time to get kind of arrogant a little bit, you know, because I was like, people like us. Like, there's a reason they like us, you know, not so much because of me, but people like us, and that's cool. But I wanted to, like, people would be like, that was a really good set. And I'd go, hey, thanks, I guess, you know. Sure, I suppose. And, but yeah, like, every show that we played, I would get choked up because I was like, this is exactly the vision that I had, even if only 3 people would show up. It was like, cool. One of my favorite shows, we had a really good time. Nobody showed up. It was just us and the other bands at a pizza. What was that pizza place called? Out of the Park?
That's one.
Oh, you're talking to a wildly geographically, nope, can't do it. Numbers and I can't even say the word.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. Out of the Park Pizza, huge, like, cool patio area. Nobody showed up but the other bands and Marty. And we had a blast. It was so much fun. And that was really cool. But there was always this, like, well, our label person, Adam, at It's Alive Records, he was there, I believe, with his family because it was an all ages venue. Yeah, his little boy was there, and I can't remember if his little girl was there, but oh, that was fun. He was one of the people that was like, hell yeah, Daikini, you know. He helped us, right? He helped us with our vinyl that we have. He printed all of our shirts. Adam is a beast. Adam is one of those people who I will forever and a day be grateful for, because there's a few people that were really, really hardcore, like Misky from City Mouse. She was constantly like, you apologize on stage too much. Knock that shit off.
Stick it to him.
Right. And I was like, I'm sorry. And she'd be like,
there you go again.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She's like, you have something. Knock that shit off. Stop apologizing to people. You don't know anyone out there an apology. If they came out to see you, there's a reason. And I was just like, okay, Misky, sorry. You know? But Marty was like that. Adam was like, I can't name everybody because it's a lot. It's a good handful of people. But yeah, it was wild. Tour and Awesome Fest. And then 2006 was wild because 2006 was our last big year that we had. We played Fest. No, 2016. I'm sorry. I was like 2006. That was quite some time ago.
That was a long time ago.
Woo! We're not that old. 2016, we got asked to play the Fest in Florida, and I had just come off of a surrogacy. Like, it was within the 6 months the babies were born. I had twins, and so the babies were born. And I believe while I was pregnant, it was like, hey, you want to do Fest? And we were like, duh.
Yeah.
Of course. C-section recovery? Never heard of her.
We got this.
Right. And so we got to play a bunch of really cool venues leading up to that. All the shows leading up to that were incredible. That year, it might have been right after that year. Yeah, because I was pregnant with my first daughter. So, like, we had the Fest. Before that was Awesome Fest. Then we had the Fest. And then after that, we did This Is My Fest in Oakland. Like, that stretch of from 2016 to 2017, like, that little sweet spot was incredible. I think that was probably the best year that Daikini ever had.
There's a pain you don't know yet, but in due time you will learn. Your pipe was more important. He's the one you burned. Years you coulda, shoulda, woulda quickly fade away when he's asking him to be strong. He don't need no drunken daddy to string his heart along. When this ghost comes back to haunt you, the day you meet your fate, don't you dare ask for forgiveness for the sin, it's far too late. When you're going in the ground and no one is around, who needs you now? Who needs you now? Who needs you now? Who needs you now, now, now?
Had. And it was just
Nice.
because it was so fun. Like, we played the fest, and Will from La Scalera Records, he was at the fest, or not, fest. And there was like an after party hotel thing, and tons of people outside this hotel. And I was sitting miles away from the show or the party, just like sitting on a curb, sobbing. And Will comes over to me and he sits with me, he goes, "What's your deal?" And I was like, I just can't believe I'm here. Like, this is crazy. Like, I started this rinky dink little thing on a ukulele, by the way, that was a total piece of shit. Like, I loved it. It was my first one, but it was garbage. I had to have a microphone. So my first few shows were absolutely horrendous because I was constantly punching the microphone while I was strumming. But the thing fell apart, but I was still like desperately trying to keep it in tune while I was playing. And I was like, I started from this cute little chunk of wood, if it was even wood, to where I'm at now. And it's just, again, like, grateful is not a big enough word for it. And I'm here and I'm sobbing on a curb watching this party unfold in front of me. And we just played that show, our show earlier that day. One Man Army is one of my favorite bands of all time.
I've hit those dudes up.
Yeah, they're incredible. And then Toy Guitar and Dead to Me, Jack Dalrymple, he was in all three of those bands. We played shows with Toy Guitar, again, one of my favorite bands of all time. And Jack and I actually like became friends, which was wild.
You're like, this is totally awesome.
He's one of my idols, and now we're buddies, you know? And I remember like looking out in the audience, and he's like standing there and he's like rocking out, and I'm like, oh man, he's out here to support me.
This is totally awesome.
Oh, and by the way, Fest was a disaster. Our set was a disaster.
Why?
Well, because I have a little hard body electric ukulele that I play shows with now, and it's my baby. But she's hit some hard times, and she started to fall apart at Fest
While you're playing?
While we were playing. So in the middle of our set, my cable plug-in broke. And so the tech guy jumped up there and shoved some toothpicks in it and then plugged it back in, and everything was fine. Or no, it was my strap. My strap broke first. And then the sound went out on my amp. So couldn't figure out the amp. There are a couple pictures of me standing on one leg while we're playing because I had to hold my ukulele up while we were playing. My voice kept going out. It was just, at one point, I just started singing about having a broken ukulele in the middle of our set. It was ridiculous. The whole set was a disaster, but it was still really cool. We played to a full bar. People loved it. Like,
Well, I think
that
that's
was so much fun.
How much you want to bet that the people that watch it, they didn't even, I mean, maybe they saw hiccups.
Right,
but
right.
we're just like, yeah. Woo!
I mean, I hope so. It was that, or they were like, someone put this band out of their
They're
misery.
like, damn it, when's the next one coming up?
Right. I'm just going to go ahead and say that we did not get asked to play again. I'm not sure if that's just a lack of marketing ourselves or if it was just that bad. But yeah, it was still a lot of fun, and it was still very overwhelming emotionally for me. And it's so funny because I look back and like Brittany and I will talk now and we're like, God, I miss those days. God, I miss those days. But I look back and I'm just like, I can't fathom being there at those shows, playing those shows. And then just a few years prior to that, I was like staring at the bands going, I want to do that when I grow
awesome.
up. Yeah. I want to be awesome. Exactly. So, so all of that happened. I played through my entire pregnancy with the twins. We played shows. There are probably more pictures of me playing and being at shows pregnant than there are not. I was pregnant for a good chunk of Daikini. I was going through hormone treatments and everything for the surrogacy, but I played multiple shows pregnant with the twins, and that was exhausting.
Yeah.
I played tons of shows pregnant with Lily, my firstborn, to the point where on the way home from it was the last Awesome Fest. Brittany's boyfriend, now husband at the time, drove us to an emergency room because on my birthday, we drove home on my birthday because it was in February that year. Because I kept having contractions.
Someone call Alex. We're going.
Yeah, we ended up on the way home from San Diego having to stop at some random Kaiser and spend the night because I was convinced I was 8 months pregnant, 8.5 months pregnant at that point.
Here it is.
And I was like, well, the happy birthday to me. I guess my kid's going to be born early and on my birthday. And I was in the hospital having contractions to the point where we thought I was in labor. On the way home from Awesome Fest. But that was a great show. Like I would do it 10 times over. And so when I got pregnant with Joey, our final baby girl, last baby, no more babies. I told the band, like, I don't know that I want to do this again.
So like, once you find out you're pregnant, just at that point, no more? Or just play some more shows, maybe at 3 months to be done, or you just weren't going to do anything?
No. So our very last show, which I wish I would have promoted more because I don't think a lot of people knew that was it. Our last show, I was 3 months pregnant, and I was just barely telling people because we had a miscarriage beforehand. And so I was really scared to like tell anybody early on. This is a lot.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I don't ever not share too much. So, I apologize to the listeners. But when we were pregnant with Joey, I was terrified to tell anybody. And when I was finally kind of starting to tell people, the band knew way early on. But I told the band, I was like, I don't know if I can do another pregnancy and do full shows. Because with the twins and with Lily, we were going just as hard as we were when I wasn't pregnant. Practice every week, shows whenever we said yes to like every show that was offered to us. I think we only said no to very few shows. We're like, yeah, I don't know, we're good. Yeah. We said yes to every show. That's how much we love to play. It could have been a total shit show, and we'd be like, we'll be there. Like we're into it. And so like we were going just as hard. And so when I got pregnant with Joey, I was like, I don't know that I want to do this again. And Brittany was totally on board because she was like, yeah, after the whole thing that, with Lily, I think that's a good idea.
That's smart.
And Gabe was on board as well. Like they were incredible. Those are two of my platonic soulmates. God, those people I cannot say enough wonderful, magical things about them because those two people are insane they take up so much space in my heart and my soul because of how connected we were through our music, that's so cheesy. But I adore them to this day. Like if Gabe were to call me or Brittany were to call me and be like, hey, you want to jam? I'd be like,
word? Got
duh. Like he lives, I believe, in Glendale. She lives 2 hours away in LA and somewhere in LA. And if they were to call me right now, we would halfway point. Where are we going? Where are we meeting? What do we got to do? In a heartbeat. And so even like, anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. What else is new?
So would you contemplate it, say, hey, let's do a reunion and play some old Daikini, or would you toy with the thought of let's start a band and start some more recordings? Like, has that ever been a thought?
We have talked about it a little bit, but Gabe is out living his best life. Like that dude is going hard and wonderful, and it's so awesome to see him doing his thing. And then when I found out I was pregnant with Joey, and I was like, hey, this is a thing. Brittany was planning a wedding. And Gabe was starting school, and it was a good time for us to go hiatus mode.
That's good.
Yeah, it was a really good time to go hiatus mode, and so we've talked about jamming together a little bit here and there. I would love to do a reunion. We actually had a full album written, and we were trying to make recording happen again. I think we had a song called "Ugly Girl," and that got recorded, but we never released it. because it never got mastered or cleaned up or anything.
Oh, you just threw it together, recording real quick?
Well, no, like we went back to Casey and we did the recording and everything, and we were working on song number 2, and then just again, life hit us like a Mack truck, you know. And then we were like, okay, well, you know, now we're taking this break, and our very last show, I will never ever forget. We usually always start with AA, and it's so great because when we start AA, there's like this kind of, it starts with drums, and then Gabe and I come in at the same time. And as soon as we come in, him and I look at each other and we just get this big shit-eating grin on our faces. And we're like, let's
the chills.
No, every single show that we ever played, Gabe and I would lock eyes on AA and I would get chills and start tearing up. Well, thanks to pregnancy hormones, and knowing in my heart, I knew that this was it. Like, we're going on hiatus, we're taking a break. But there was something about it where I was like, I don't think we're going to come back to this. Like, I don't think we're going to come back from this. Like, I think this is our last show. And I was devastated because of, you know, the last however many years we've been doing it together. And I remember looking at Gabe, and he did the same smile, and we did the same drop in, and I just lost it. And I cried through all of AA. I just sobbed. Here we go. Because I knew that was it, you know.
It's not so easy, always cleaning up your mess.
The show was great. We had a blast. There's somewhere in the world, there is actually a recording of, Brittany just sent it to me actually, of Gabe and I practicing harmonizing like in the alley or something outside the bar. Cause we were like, we got to get this, you know? But yeah, that was it, you know? And after that, Joey was diagnosed with Down syndrome while we were pregnant with her. And then good old lockdown happened. So that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, it ruined things.
Mm-hmm. And then Brittany got married, which was incredible.
There goes the band, dude.
Right. But we had been through pregnancies and marriages or weddings and things like that before. But just everything that, you know, had gone down, and then lockdown happened after. So like we got this diagnosis and then lockdown happened. And then I'm speaking from my personal part of why I couldn't focus on Daikini anymore. I got sick during pregnancy. I was miserable physically through a lot of that pregnancy. And then when she was born, it was super like, we don't know what to expect and things like that. And then Gabe was doing his thing, and then Brittany had a baby. And so that's amazing. And it's almost as cool to watch. I mean, almost as cool as playing in a band together to watch them thrive, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like a proud mom, but we're all like equals. But like, I'm just watching them from like my little corner going, yeah, go.
Little cheerleader from the side.
Yeah, exactly. And it almost felt like our little family was, you know, we were all leaving the nest at the same time. Because it was never like, I'm the leader of the band, I'm the singer, I'm the front man. Everything was down the middle. If a decision had to be made, it was, Brittany, what do you think? Gabe, where are you at with this? If somebody hit at Brittany, she'd be like, hey, like, I got this thing. What do you guys think? All of our t-shirt designs came down to what all three of us thought. All of our album stuff, album art, everything was, what is the opinion of the band? Not, this is my idea, blah, blah, blah. It was, I'm not moving a single step forward until I get the go ahead from these guys. And if it was ever like I'm not comfortable with that, that's the end of it. Because I was never super comfortable with literally anything until I got the go ahead. Not permission, but like if we weren't all in agreement, it wasn't going to happen. Dead stop. Absolutely not. Hard pass.
That's good. I mean, that's how you work together. That's what you call working together.
Working together.
As a team.
As a team.
Rather than some authoritative, shut up. We're doing this.
Right. No, I'm the front man. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go home.
Sorry.
Oh, I don't matter to me.
Cool.
Your kids are up there, not mine.
Yeah. Thank you to Jeff's wife for totally hanging out with my girls.
I'm sure they're playing with Barbies and horses.
No, Lily is running her ragged up there. And then Joey's trying desperately to fall down the stairs. That's her goal.
Like she's obsessed with stairs.
She is. Ever since she learned to climb them, it's the proudest and most terrifying day of my life. So yeah, that was our last show. COVID happened when things kind of started to lighten up a little bit. Marty hit me up, and I didn't realize I went through a lot of emotional stuff. I got slammed with pretty severe postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety. My pregnancy with Joey was extremely tumultuous and difficult and painful.
Well, plus during COVID.
Right.
So that doesn't help.
No. It was like, even like when we knew I was going to have the C-section, they told Alex, like, you may or may not be in the room with her when this happens. And it was literally changed every week. Like this week, yes. This week, no. This week, yes. This week, no. And we had there was this sweet spot where it was like, cool, this is going to happen we're going to make it happen. And yeah, like my pain medication after my C-section didn't work. So for 3 days, for 3 days laying in the hospital, I was just recovering from severe abdominal surgery without pain medication.
Morphine.
I'm allergic to it.
Oh, you are?
I'm allergic to morphine, Norco, any of the good stuff.
Like the good narcotics?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's going to be rough.
Yeah. I don't know that I'm allergic to it so much as I have like an adverse reaction, like a severe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like I remember after Lily was born, because there's that stuff in the spinal tap.
Yeah.
Or the block or whatever it's called. And after that C-section, I remember I came home with bruising on my neck and face from scratching.
Oh, wow.
Because it was that intense. So yeah, that happened. So after Joey was born, a few months after that, Marty hit me up and was like, hey, we're doing this acoustic thing in this like arena, not arena, but like open air kind of stage area. Some of the ladies from Bad Cop, another one of my favorites, are playing. The people that I've been able to befriend through Daikini is mind-boggling, because they like me. And I don't understand why. I am the most unhinged, mentally just broken person.
You're a musician.
And they like me. Fair enough. But he was like, hey, do you want to do this? I was like, sure. Yeah. Not realizing how crippling all of the issues that I had after having Joey had gotten. And it was just me. Brittany and Gabe were there, but it was a COVID friendly area or show.
Everyone's got to be distanced.
Everyone was distanced. Everyone was wearing a mask, which was fine. And so when I got there, I started to play and had forgotten all the words to like literally songs that we've been playing for years. I couldn't remember any words from any of the shows. My entire body was shaking like I was going through hypothermia. I was in a huge panic because of the amount of people I was around. And I went from like, I could talk to a tree and carry on an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
I would talk to everybody and anybody at shows to, I could not have gotten out of there fast enough. I showed up. Yeah. I showed up. And as soon as I showed up, I felt like I was going to puke. I was in a huge panic, sweating bullets, like terrified.
Oh dear.
And I tried to get through it because I always kind of had a little bit of stage fright. But what's really funny is my stage fright would get worse if there were less people. The less people at a show, the more stage fright I would feel.
Well, it's definitely more intimate the less people there are.
Right,
for sure.
right. And you're already reading your diary out loud to people, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, my family is completely screwed up. Here's a song about it, you know.
And I'm making eye contact with you.
Right, exactly. To this one like fan person that's been following us for God knows what reason. Just kidding. Hey guys. But
keep following.
Yeah. But so I played that show, and that was even more because at that time I was getting in my head really bad. I was really, really, really hard on myself. And I got home and I just remember cradling Lily. Joey was passed out or something, but I just remember grabbing Lily and going, I don't think I can ever play music again.
Oh, that's too bad.
It was that bad. And then, you know, I'm all snotty from being a gross mess. No, I'm fine. I have jeans.
Plus it's hot in here.
The heat is not even bothering me so much as the, you know, talking.
The emotion.
Yeah. But yeah, I was sitting with her and to myself, I just was like, I don't think I can ever play music again. And that was kind of, that was when Joey was a newborn. That was 3 years ago. And a lot of struggle mentally. I try really hard to be like, I want to be more of a mental health advocate just because of how bad it got for a long time. And it all the way up to last year, I was doing really well. And I even started playing music again. At the beginning of last year, I wrote 3 songs. And then my grandfather committed suicide.
Oh, that's too bad.
And I stopped all over again. I was like, I'm never going to play music again. He was one of my inspirations for writing music. I was like, I'm never going to play music again. Nope, I'm not going to make it through this. And then 2 months later, one of my really good friends passed away. And then like not even a month later, I lost a really good friend. She didn't pass away, but I lost a really good friend. And that was hard. And then music is such a huge part of my life. And I love music so much. I'm sorry for getting so dark here at the end. Music means it's like children. myself, obviously, husband, music.
Yeah.
And that's my deal. Even I fall under music sometimes. Sometimes it'll go kids, husband, music, me. And it meant so much to me that I was almost like punishing myself. I can't play music. I have to take care of my kids. I got to make sure the house is clean, mom stuff.
Yeah.
But then when the deaths happened, I was like, yeah, I'm really, really good on this.
I'm good.
I put the brand new songs away. And I was even talking to a couple people about recording again, just some stuff with me. I was talking to a couple of my friends about just having stand-ins until Gabe and Brittany were ready to come back. Even though I knew like we all live like hours away from each other, but I'm keeping hope.
You're holding on to the hope. And the
Right,
thought.
exactly. But then it's been 6 months since all of that happened, probably longer. And I picked up my ukulele again, and I kind of have been tinkering around with it. The problem is that the girls really love music. Like I have barely played at all in front of either one of them because everything started when Lily was so little.
Yeah.
But I bust out the ukulele and I plug in, and they're just at the garage door. Do, 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 do. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Can we come in? Can we come in?
Can we come in? Can I? And so like I got a microphone and I got a drum set for Christmas. And so I've been messing with all this stuff. And the second I start, they're just like, hey mom, can we come play?
This is mommy time.
Right. Which I love. But at the same time, I'm like, guys, I'm trying to rediscover some shit here. Do you mind?
I'm getting in touch with
This
my
is
inner
why
self.
we can't have nice things, like personal space. And so literally they'll go in and they'll turn the microphone on and they'll get going on the drums and they'll write their own music. And it's like, this is cool, but neither one of you can really keep a beat just yet. So if you could
training.
Right. Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm trying.
Together with a heart as heavy as mine. If you stick around, I can put on one hell of a show. I can love you so I got your method. Wanna let me go? I'll make you see that I'm right where you wanna be. And fall in love eventually. Well, I'm sorry if I'm hurting and I'm broken. Just a little bit. I imagine that you are quite sick of me losing my shit. But I'm loyal and I'm forgiving. Say the word and I'm there. I can show you your life is worth living. Don't quit on me, baby, I'm scared. I love you like no other. When my brain sets my heart free. And you're gonna love me forever. Eventually, maybe. Eventually, whoa, whoa. Eventually, whoa,
But I have been talking to a few people about just doing some solo stuff. And If I do, I refuse to give up the name. So if I did start playing again, it would just be Teeny Daikini, because now it's just me. We're not the whole band. It's just me for a while. And I'm hoping, there is still so much hope that like we'll come back to that and we'll do like a big badass reunion show and we'll start playing shows again and doing our thing. And whether or not that happens is irrelevant because it's in my brain that it's going to happen.
Just a matter of time.
Right. And so, yeah, that's like the whole story. I'm sure that I'm leaving a whole bunch of details out, but
that's all right. So would it, so like you said, you would just be doing fill-ins until Brittany and Gabe are coming, or is it kind of, you'll just, look, I'm going to play some shows. If they come along, fantastic. If they don't, that's fantastic. I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, I'm going to keep going, just me, I think.
Okay.
I have a couple of friends that want to jam. We'll see what happens with that. As of right now, I have a handful of brand new songs that I want to play. I have a handful of songs that we never recorded that I want to play. I miss playing Anger Management and AA so much that it hurts my bones. So obviously I'm going to play those ones. Probably a couple others from Everything Is Fine. I want to revamp Landlord, which is the very first song I ever wrote. I know Bastard is one that we used to play all the time that I really enjoyed playing. So yeah, there's a hefty little handful of songs. I just have to actually like pull my head out of my very anxious, crippling, terrified ass and just go for it. Because I think once I do the first couple, it'll be like a Band-Aid.
You'd be like, okay, we're good.
Yeah, I'm ready. But I have to get to that point, and there's so much blockage there that getting to that point is really hard.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like there's a lot of anxiety there.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of back history.
Yes.
And I am like, I know for me, music brings out emotion, and it depends on which. I don't want to say certain. Like this music brings out this. It's just in general, and it's usually it's whatever emotion I happen to be in touch with at the time that I'm listening to it. So sometimes that could be crippling or
cathartic.
Yeah, where you're like, damn it.
Right. Well, and it's so funny because a lot of the songs don't even come from don't stem from like personal experience with my husband now, Alex from the Dudikoffs. I really miss that band. I don't know if you could tell.
Yeah, they need to play again, Alex.
Yeah. But there are songs that I play it, and I remember a couple people came up and they're like, "Hey, are you guys okay? Like, are you and Alex good?
Do we need to intervene?
Do you want to talk about it?" I'm like, no. This is from like angsty teenage years and mean boyfriends before that, and just dumb shit that you write about.
But they thought it was all about him,
right? Yeah. For a while, they were like, "Are you good?" Probably not.
Alex winked twice.
Right. But even like they were like, are you okay? I'm like, I don't have enough time for that answer.
I don't have a couch for that to lay down on.
Right. I have a song called Rudy that I wrote for my grandpa like 8 years ago. And it was an homage to him and his past wives that I wrote while on hormone injections. So it's a real emotional song.
It's an emotional roller coaster.
Right. But it means so much more now after all the stuff. That's one that I want to record. That's one I want to play for people. But yeah, like so much of my music is literally personal experience. I get so frustrated when Alex writes music because he writes such fun, silly music. Like he has a couple of emotional ones in there that like really
like Dead Bodies.
Exactly. Or Zombie.
Necrophilia.
Right. Burrito Party. Some of my favorites. But it's cool because even though I'm not playing music anymore, my son plays music now and actually has learned a couple of Daikini songs.
Is he going to be a guest appearance?
Maybe.
Does he play guitar, right?
Yeah. He plays guitar. And even like this little jerk went out to the garage and just started playing drums and was like good at it. I was like, are you kidding me?
How dare you?
Can mommy have a hobby, please?
That doesn't involve you.
Right. But I love my children. I have to put that out there. They are the light of my life and I love them. Full disclaimer. But yeah, like he's really, really good. And listening to him play Daikini songs, it's almost like all right, little dude, here's the torch. Little dude, he's going to be 18 next month.
So is he just playing guitar, or is he contemplating being in a band too?
He has talked about being in a band, but he's starting school in a week.
Oh.
And so he's no, it's good. He's like super, super into graphic design and character building type stuff on the computer.
Like animation and all that?
Yeah, all that stuff. And he's incredible at that.
Oh, fun.
And he's a really neat kid. But yeah, like even that, he's everything he touches, he's good at it. Which, whatever, man. But yeah, listening to him play Daikini songs on his guitar, I'm like, oh, must be nice to have normal sized fingers.
To actually play a real guitar.
Yeah.
Not a little guitar.
Way to go with your normal sized hands and your talent. He's never going to let that one go now. Great. You're welcome, Kit.
So one question that I have is...
Yes, I haven't shut up since I sat down, so please
that's all right.
Ask away.
So when you started on the ukulele, so your songs have distortion.
Yes.
At what point did you go, I have a ukulele, now let me distort it? Or was that right from the beginning?
Oh, God, no. So it's really funny how that happened. So remember the shitty ukulele that I had to mic?
Yeah.
I got so tired of smacking the shit out of the microphone that I told Alex, I was like, do you think they have electric ukuleles? And he's like, I know for a fact that they do. And my mother-in-law, actually bought me my very first electric ukulele, which shout out to Pam because she changed the game for me.
It's all Pam's fault.
Pam, way to go, Pam. But I plugged it in and it sounded incredible. And so I played shows with just that. And then I was like, I own a distortion pedal.
Put this in there.
Yeah. And I was like, I wonder. And I had a couple of people like, I don't know if it'll work. And it totally worked. But then I had a couple other people who were like, you can't palm mute a ukulele.
Hell yeah, I can.
Watch me. Now, full disclosure, I am not good at it. Like I can play 7 or 8 chords, but I can't do picking and things like that. But if you go, nah, I'll go, yeah, but I'm going to try it anyway. Because even if it's a hot mess, at least I tried.
Yeah.
But yeah, I plugged it in and became completely obsessed with the way it turned out. And there you go. That the rest is history. I tried different sounds because they're like, Do Your Thing is another big one that I really enjoy. I always wanted that song to be really heavy, really, I don't know the right words to use. So like really thick and like crunchy, but like I went to a Dropkick Murphy show. Yeah, shut up.
That's okay. I won't think less of you.
I didn't pay for it. It was free. Whatever. Say what you want to say. I said what I said. And when they started the very first song, I could feel the music like rattling my bones. And that's what I wanted for Do Your Thing. But luckily we had a bass player, so that took care of that. Because,
I've got your low end covered.
Right, because with the ukulele, no matter how crunchy I want to make it, it's a fucking ukulele.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot there.
Right, so it's like this cute little like ding, 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 ding. But I think that's where the bass comes in. It makes certain songs really heavy and thick with 2 C's. And so it worked out, but I always want to mess with my ukulele and be like, yeah, I know it's a ukulele, but I'm
in drop D ukulele.
I want to be crunchy. And I've had people that are like, man, I saw the ukulele and I almost walked out, but it worked out. And I was like, cool, thanks, dude with a giant mohawk.
Yeah, you weirdo.
The guitarist from Slayer who hangs out at a bar, I think it was Slayer.
Yeah, Kerry King.
Yeah, didn't know who he was. And he walked up to me at Lake Alice after a show and was like, that was fucking good. That was really cool. I was a little inebriated, to say the least, and had no idea who this person was. So I just kept calling him
dude.
I just kept calling him Tattoo Head. To his face, Jeff. To his face.
Do you not know who I am?
I had no idea, but he was so cool about it. And he was like, yeah, man, ukulele. I never even thought it could rip like that. And I was like, I rip? Really?
Sweet.
Oh, man. And as we were leaving, I was like, see you later, Tattoo Head. Thanks again. And later, The bass player for the Dudikoffs at the time was like,
Do you not know who that
Melissa, do you know who that was? Sober Me was like, yeah, Tattoo Head, right? And he tells me who he was. He's like, he's one of the greatest guitar players like ever. And I went, oh no. I never saw that man again. So there was no redemption. I was just like, cool. I'm just some drunk asshole with a ukulele calling this man who's a legend, apparently, Tattoo Head.
Yeah.
And like gushing because he's like, oh, that was really, and I'm just like, oh, no, you know.
Yeah, it cracks me up.
Cool.
I know there's a few times whenever we play, what's the one next to Lake Alice? I want to call it the Cigarette
Mission
Lounge.
Tobacco Lounge.
There you go.
That's where it was. It wasn't at Lake Alice. It was Mission
Okay.
Tobacco Lounge. Yeah.
And he would always be there. And of course,
Yep.
he'd leave as soon as people would show or
Right.
bands would start playing. But there's a lot of times that we'd play and then Dave would post a picture and he'd Photoshop him in the band with us.
That's amazing. Dave has the best Photoshop skills.
Yeah.
One of my favorite retcons photo is when Alex first joined the band. And it's you guys sitting on a wall. And then
his
he
wizard
took
outfit?
he took a picture of Alex in a wizard costume playing one of my stupid costume party birthday shows from like way back when. And it's him making this like super intense face playing ukulele guitar. And he just photoshopped him in there standing on the wall. I'm like, that is to this day, one of my favorite photoshops by Dave.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
I think my favorite, though, is the mariachi when he put us all in mariachi
yep.
out.
Yep. And he's real good at picking the best faces.
Yeah, I
too.
know. They're
Yeah.
not like a smile.
No.
They're just.
He picks live shows and he goes hard. I love Dave and all of his Photoshop skills.
It cracks me up.
He was another one that was like, get it, girl. Go for it. You know? Dave is super cool. Dave's another one that I could just go on and on about. But he's another person who's just like super supportive and like, no, man, go for it. Screw other people. Ukulele, hell yeah, get it.
We
you
got
know?
this.
Yeah, do it. You know? Because you're always a little, me anyway, I'm always like, I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah.
And then you do it and you're like, shit, that was terrible. And then you have people like
Then you
Misky.
got Tattoo Head telling you it's awesome.
Right. Who I have no idea who that person is. And then Misky's like, that was really fun. That was really cool. Because she put on my very first, not my personal, but my very first open mic night was with Misky. My first real open mic night. Because I used to do like Romano's, R.I.P. And stuff. But it wasn't ever like my music.
Yeah.
And so like the first real open mic night that was Daikini, I was, put up as Daikini on an actual flyer or like on an announcement or whatever, was Misky. She was like, yeah, get it. And she was always like hitting me up. Do you want to do another one? You want to do another one? And I was like, I'm not very good. And she'd be like, shut up. Yes, you are. And I'd go, okay, I'll be there. So yeah. Anyway.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for joining me today, Melissa. It's always fun just
Of course. I love
hear
to
the funny
talk about
stories.
Daikini. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah. Well, if you guys get your stuff together again, you start playing shows, we'll do it again.
Again, children are ruining our social lives, but you know, wouldn't have it any other way.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I only have stepdaughters. I didn't have kids. So.
That's fair. That's fair. There's still a lot, you know. Alex is my son's stepdad and he go hard.
Big time.
Big time. Yep. Oh, word.
All right, Melissa. Well, thanks again for joining. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you for having me. This was super fun. Thank you.